Job, chapters 29 and 30. And Job continued and said in his parable, Oh, that I were as in months past, wherein God preserved me, as when his lamp shone over my head, and when by his light I walked through darkness, as when I steadfastly pursued my ways, when God took care of my house, when I was very fruitful, and my children were about me, when my ways were moistened with butter, and the mountains flowed for me with milk. I went forth early in the city, and the seat was placed for me in the streets. The young men saw me, and hid themselves. And all the old men stood up, and the great men ceased speaking, and laid their finger on their mouth. And they that heard me blessed me, and their tongue clave to their throat. For the ear heard and blessed me, and the eye saw me, and turned aside. For I saved the poor out of the hand of the oppressor, and helped the fatherless who had no helper. Let the blessing of the perishing one come upon me. Yea, the mouth of the widow has blessed me. Also I put on righteousness, and clothed myself with judgment like a mantle. I was the eye of the blind, and the foot of the lame. I was the father of the helpless, and I searched out the cause which I knew not. And I broke the jaw teeth of the unrighteous. I plucked the spoil out of the midst of their teeth. And I said, My age shall continue as the stem of a palm tree. I shall live a long while. My root was spread out by the water, and the dew would lodge on my crop. My glory was fresh in me, and my bow prospered in his hand. Men heard me, and gave heed, and they were silent at my counsel. At my word they spoke not again, and they were very glad whenever I spoke to them. As the thirsty earth expecting the rain, so they waited for my speech. Were I to laugh on them, they would not believe it, and the light of my face has not failed. I chose out their way, and sat chief, and dwelt as a king, in the midst of warriors, as one comforting mourners. But now the youngest have laughed me to scorn. Now they reprove me in their turn, whose fathers I set at naught, whom I did not deem worthy to be with my shepherd dogs. Yea, why had I the strength of their hands? For them the full term of life was lost. One is childless in want and famine, such as they fled, but lately the distress and misery of drought. Who compassed the salt places on the sounding shore, who had salt herbs for their food, and were dishonorable and of no repute, in want of every good thing, who also ate roots of trees by reason of great hunger. Thieves have risen up against me, whose houses were the caves of the rocks, who lived under the wild shrubs. They will cry out among the rustling bushes. They are sons of fools and vile men, whose name and glory are quenched from off the earth. But now I am their music, and they have me for a byword. And they stood aloof and abhorred me, and spared not to spit in my face. For he has opened his quiver and afflicted me. They also have cast off the restraint of my presence. They have risen up against me on the right hand of their offspring. They have stretched out their foot, and directed against me the ways of their destruction. My paths are ruined, for they have stripped off my raiment. He has shot at me with his weapons, and he has pleaded against me as he will. I am overwhelmed with pains. My pains return upon me. My hope is gone like the wind, and my safety as a cloud. Even now my life shall be poured forth upon me, and days of anguish seize me. And by night my bones are confounded, and my sinews are relaxed. With great force my disease has taken hold of my garment. It has compassed me as the collar of my coat. And thou hast counted me as clay, my portion in dust and ashes. I have cried to thee, but thou hearest me not. But they stood still and observed me. They attacked me also without mercy. Thou hast scourged me with a strong hand, and thou hast put me to grief, and hast cast me away from safety. For I know that death will destroy me, for the earth is the house appointed for every mortal. Oh, then, that I might lay hands upon myself, or at least ask another, and he should do this for me. Yet I wept over every helpless man. I groaned when I saw a man in distress. But I, when I waited for good things, behold, days of evils came the more upon me. My belly boiled, and would not cease. The days of poverty prevented me. I went mourning without restraint, and I have stood and cried out in the assembly. I am become a brother of monsters, and a companion of ostriches. And my skin has been greatly blackened, and my bones are burned with heat. My harp also has been turned into mourning, and my song into my weeping. The Epistle of St. Paul the Apostle to the Romans, chapter 12. I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good, and acceptable, and perfect will of God. For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as God hath dealt to every man the measure of faith. For as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office, So we, being many, are one body in Christ, and every one members of one another. Having them gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us, whether prophecy, let us prophesy, according to the proportion of faith. Or ministry, let us wait on our ministering, or he that teacheth on teaching, or he that exhorteth on exhortation. He that giveth, let him do it with simplicity. He that ruleth, with diligence. He that showeth mercy, with cheerfulness. Let love be without dissimulation. Abhor that which is evil. Cleave to that which is good. Be kindly affectioned one to another with brotherly love, in honor preferring one another, not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord. Rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing instant in prayer. Distributing to the necessity of saints, given to hospitality. Bless them which persecute you. Bless, and curse not. Rejoice with them that do rejoice, and weep with them that weep. Be of the same mind toward one another. Mind not high things, but condescend to men of low estate. Be not wise in your own conceits. Recompense to no man evil for evil. Provide things honest in the sight of all men. If it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, Vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord. Therefore, if thine enemy hunger, feed him. If he thirst, give him drink. For in doing so thou shalt heap coals of fire on his head. Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good.